What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Robby's Film Review, where I will be bringing you every week of Russell Wilson's games, no matter the performance, but you already know that, so let's just jump right into it. This is coming from the Denver Broncos' great win over the Buffalo Bills on the road, probably, I want to say their best win in 8 years. There has not been the Denver Broncos team that I believe could go on the road to beat a team like the Buffalo Bills, even though they're on a downslide right now. There isn't a Denver Broncos team in the past 8 years that could take advantage of that the way that Sean Payton's Broncos did Monday night. Now, the Cowboys win in Vic Fangio's last year was a great win, but this just feels like it's something different. You can see what Sean Payton is starting to build, and you can see how comfortable Russell Wilson is starting to get. And it was a pretty up and down game for Russ, I won't lie. Their first half started very clean. It was just very, very, very clean. There was no chances made, no bad plays, no negative plays. The third quarter was very brutal. Very brutal. A lot of rhythmic misses, which, again, is sort of the norm for Russell Wilson in this Broncos offense so far. But he made key plays down the stretch to will this team to victory, and I think that's something that can't go unnoticed. So, starting off here, it was, everybody has seen this play, I'm sure. Everybody has seen this play. It's their 4th and 2 play, first touchdown of the game, and they're just trying to get Courtland Sutton on the back line of the end zone there. Russ is going to get out of the pocket. He's going to make a great play in the backfield to create distance with him and the defender to be able to get this throw off. And this is one of the greatest, I'm not exaggerating, this is one of the greatest throw and catches I've ever seen in my life. There's nothing special that I'm going to go over schematically, so I'm just going to let this play out from every single angle possible for you guys, because this was just an unreal play. And Russ talked in the post-game presser about how he had to make 2 small spins in the backfield to be able to get this ball off. And Courtland Sutton also deserves massive, massive praise for the play that he was able to make on this. I mean, having the awareness to know where you are in the corner of the end zone like that and get your feet down in such a small area of space is just, I mean, that's incredible. From the throw to the catch, this was just a beautiful play, one of the greatest plays we will see this season, if not of all time. And I mean, it's something that we have not seen from the Denver Broncos in a very long time. So, I'm sure everyone saw during the broadcast of the game, Sean Payton was trying to set up these under center play action shots, and he was really trying to get that big play. He was really trying to hammer it in there and find an explosive play for the offense to really start to gain some momentum. And he tried to do it on this play, and what they're going to try and get is they are hoping for too high coverage. And what they want to get is they want to get Courtland Sutton on this back dig over here, and Sean Payton wants Courtland Sutton to occupy that quarter's safety to come down on that route so we can have Mims on a big post right behind it like that. Now, that doesn't happen, and the Bills get to a cover 3 look, and it still could have hit versus cover 3, and in fact, I probably shouldn't say that they were looking for too high coverage, because I don't know what they were specifically looking for, but this route combination would have worked best against too high. Now, they got 1 high and they got cover 3, but what's going to happen is Courtland Sutton's corner is going to do a great job of falling off once Courtland Sutton breaks inside and capping Marvin Mims' route all the way from the backside. So he really just takes that play completely away. It's not an option for Russ anymore. There was a slight chance for Russ to get this ball to Sutton coming across the field once he got out of the pocket, but even then the throw was a little bit muddy, and from where Russ was standing when he had pressure in his face, I don't think that would have been a great decision. But the decision he made to take a sack here is even worse, because they were just above midfield, getting into that field goal range. Just throw the ball away here. So I'll let it play out. Gets to the top of his drop, roll out. See, Sutton came up down here, and there was a little window for him to be able to make this throw, but that middle of the field safety really came down and cut off that crosser. So now Russ is just trying to make anything happen here, and you just gotta throw it away. There's no reason to be just doing that in the pocket, trying to make something out of nothing when there's only 2 routes on the field and both of them are covered. Just throw the ball away. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack on this play right here. So I want to start off by saying that Sean Payton has been giving Russell Wilson a lot of responsibility and freedom at the line of scrimmage this season. Out of every single game, I have come out impressed with what Russell Wilson has been able to do at the line of scrimmage pre-snap. And it's something that deserves to be noticed and deserves to be praised, but you would like to see it paired with the post-snap results. And this is a good example of that. Now, again, like I said, I love the pre-snap processing here from Russell Wilson. He sorts this out and he knows this is going to be a zone coverage because of the alignment to the nub side of the field. So you see they have a corner lined up over on basically nobody over here. And that's what a 3x1 nub set does. And 3x1 nub is just this tight end right here. Just showing that if there's a corner lined up on the outside of him guarding nothing but green grass, you're getting zone coverage. And they get that indicator, and Russ checks to a 3-level flood concept to the strong side, the 3x1 side. And they don't get the coverage that they were looking for, but Russell Wilson is still able to get to the optimal read, which is Courtland Sutton on this return route. And I'll let it play, and then I'll stop it at the top of the drop just so you guys can see. Boom. So he tries to get the 3-level flood, but that play is just not there. There's not going to be a window for Russ to throw that ball. They're trying to get that deep corner to Judy. They thought it was going to be cover 2, where they can manipulate the cloud corner, but they don't end up getting that. But Russell Wilson still gets to the optimal read, which is Courtland Sutton on the return route. But he is late getting the ball, and when he does get that ball to Courtland, it's behind him and it's late, and it causes Sutton to have to come across his body to make a play on it. He gets it, turns his body upfield to make a football move, and he ends up fumbling. Now, personally, I don't think Sutton deserves... Well, he fumbled the ball, so he deserves some level of criticism, right? But he wouldn't have fumbled if Russ had been on time with this throw. And like I said, you like to see him get to the right protection. You like to see him get to the right play versus the right look. And even when it isn't the right look, he can still get to the most optimal read on the field. But you also have to execute. You see he's late. Sutton has to get down to make that catch, come up, and as he's trying to turn upfield, he ends up getting hit, and it ends up being a fumble. So I'm a process over results guy, so I like the pre-snap processing. But when we were examining his play in this individual game, this still, to me, goes down as a negative. So on this play, Russ does a good job of getting the ball to his check down and, making something out of nothing, but it didn't have to be out of nothing because he had both Judy and Sutton on these deep curl routes if he wanted either one. So this is one of those plays where you want to see Russ just sit back there and read things out instead of looking for his first read and then looking to run and then from that looking for the check down, because there's a bigger play to be had here. And on schedule, this play has to be made. So at the top of his drop, you'll see, boom, there's a window for both Sutton and Judy on these deep curls. Now that Mike linebacker drifts in that window towards Sutton because he's reading Russ's eyes. But typically he's just lined up straight in the middle of either one of them, and Russ could just snap his eyes to whichever one he chooses and get the ball to him on time. That's where this ball is supposed to go. That's where it's designed to go. And instead, he ends up looking for Sutton. He sees that linebacker drifting into that window, but he should have just moved over to Judy, knowing from the pre-snap alignment that if that Mike linebacker drifted to Sutton, he's going to have Judy, or if, vice versa, if that linebacker drifted to Judy, he would have Sutton. Burton does a very good job of picking up this cornerback pressure, and Russ sees this and thinks that he has to completely escape the pocket, but as you can see, all he's got to do is step up once, completely take away that defender's angle, his rush angle, and you're in a clean NFL pocket to make that throw. That's the play that should have been made. Now again, it isn't a complete negative because he's able to make something out of what he made nothing and flip it to Javonte, but again, you would like to see him get to the optimal play. Now this is another one of those rhythmic plays that you would really like to see Russ hit. Now, they're lined up at empty. They're going to get a 4-by-1 look. Judy is isolated completely on his own to the boundary with a corner. Russ is going to read out the post-snap coverage. He's going to see it's 1 high. He's going to see it's cover 3. He's going to look towards Judy. And I don't understand what he sees here because this corner, everything this corner is giving off is an indicator of zone coverage. His hips, his eyes, his body, his leverage are all towards the quarterback. So Judy is running an out route to his blind spot. That should be an automatic throw no matter what. I don't understand what made Russ come off of this and look backside, but he ends up doing so. And even so, he still has a chance to hit it to Sutton coming across to the backside, but he ends up still being late, trying to hit him, misses him. These are the kind of plays that if you mess up on second down on a play like this, where you can get 6 yards or get a first down and make it 3rd and 1 at worst, now it turns into 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. And in this game, they were lucky that Russ was so efficient on those late 3rd downs, where their average yards to go was something like 3rd and 7, I think, like something like that. And Russ had an insanely efficient game on those 3rd downs. So he was lucky he was able to balance himself out like that and bail himself out, because plays like this can really ruin drives. And again, he's really lucky it didn't. Judy is alone, comes back, tries to hit Sutton, misses him, 3rd and long. So now we're starting to get into the plays where Russ really made some crucial key plays to will the team to the victory in these last 2 drives. And it's beautiful to see because this is shades of vintage Russ, where, you know, those rhythmic misses and those on-schedule misses are brutal, but the off-schedule and the out-of-structure Russell Wilson bails himself out late in games, and it makes for some really weird, funky games, which we saw Monday, but that is Russell Wilson. That is the essence of Russell Wilson. So he sees the defense rotate to 2 high post-snap. He doesn't like what he sees, and for good reason, because there's not a single option when he gets to the top of his drop. I'll show you, and I'll stop it once he gets to the top of it. 3-step drop from gun. There's nowhere to go with this ball. Nowhere. If he had gone to the stop at the top of the screen to Sutton, that's a pick 6. He gets some interior pressure, steps up, and makes a really nice flip to Pirine under complete duress. And Pirine gets to take it for a first down. And that's something that he's done a lot this season, both Russ and Pirine. So you can see he gets some initial interior pressure from Ed Oliver, comes up, somehow gets the ball to Pirine, first down in the red zone on a crucial late play. And again, on the drive of the go-ahead field goal to win the game, Russ does it again. Somehow is able to get a flip to Pirine, and Pirine takes it 20-plus yards off of a simple check down. They're going to get the same look as they did on the previous clip. 2 high post-snap coverage. Russ doesn't like what he sees when he gets to the top of his drop. 1-step drop from gun. He could have went to Judy on this backside here, but there's a chance that that corner comes off of it. Especially since you're reading that it's 2 high post-snap. He could have gone to Troutman on the side there in this quick game concept, but what he ends up getting to is a bigger plus in this offense than any of those options. gets to the top of his drop, doesn't like what he sees initially, tries to make something out of nothing, flip to Pirine. Pirine does such a great job of taking a simple play like a check down and just putting the team on his back on these plays. Such an underrated signing, such an underrated player. And again, on the go-ahead drive, Russell Wilson makes something out of nothing. Now, this is the first of the final two zero pressure looks from the Bills. And on this play, Russ ends up taking a sack. And on the next is that PI play to Jeudy, which sets up the game-winning field goal. But on this, I know a lot gets made out of those Russell Wilson sacks, as there should be, because he takes some brutal sacks to where they just kill drives and put the team in horrible positions. But, I mean, on this sack, what would you like him to do? There's going to be complete pressure before he even completes his drop. And you maybe would like to see him throw it away. But again, it comes so fast to where there's just nothing he could do. And it was such a good play call from Sean McDermott to where they completely took the team out of field goal range. And that could have ended the game right there, if it wasn't for them to go zero again and for Jeudy to completely beat his guy off the snap and for Russ to put it out there. Underthrew it by a lot, but they got lucky. They got bailed out by some PI. But again, on this play, it's just immediate. There's nothing for Russ to do here. He can't even get to his drop. Pirine does a good job of picking it up, but by then Russ is already off balance and off structure. His base is completely just taken from under of him, and there's nothing to do here. Horrible sack. Horrible sack. But I don't understand how this can just be chalked up to, another Russell Wilson sack, instead of, what would you like him to do here? There's no hot option fast enough. He can't throw it away fast enough. There's nothing for him to do there. And this is what ended up being the game-winning play for the Denver Broncos to come into Buffalo and take down the Buffalo Bills, starting what might be a playoff run. I mean, who knows? I'm still haunted from the past 6 years to really believe in them, but they've shown that at the very least, they can control what they can control. There's going to be a lot of outside factors that they need and some teams to lose. Things are starting to fall their way with the way the quarterbacks are going down in the AFC. But the most important part is them controlling what they can control. And going into Buffalo and taking down the Buffalo Bills is what looked like the tallest task on paper for their schedule in this part of the season. Anyways, Buffalo gets to the same zero look that they did on the previous play, but Jeudy completely just torches his guy off the line, and he's already got 5-6 yards of cushion, and he just completely torches him. Russ just throws it up. They get lucky, they get a PI, and again, the Broncos take a game from Buffalo in Buffalo.